Welcome back to Catch It, a New Perception, a podcast to help change one's perception to be able to change the way one feels. No matter whether you feel good about yourself, you don't feel good about yourself, whether you feel good about the things that you're doing in the world, or you don't feel good about the things you're doing in the world, I truly believe that we can help you to improve your perception, to be able to change how you feel, to be more comfortable with yourself, be more comfortable with your place in the world, what it is that you're doing, be able to change your perception, your feeling, your thinking, all of it. So in the last episode, I talked a little bit about where we want to go, what we want to do, and each episode will have a little bit of a theme, and each episode may repeat certain things because some of these things need to get into our subconscious. They need to stay in our subconscious. We need to be able to repeat things over and over and over to be able to have them in our subconscious, because we've created mantras from the time we were young to create our subconscious to what it is, and we've been unaware of it. So as we become aware that we can actually do something to change our subconscious, we may have to repeat it over and over, tens of times, hundreds of times, thousands of times. Maybe we could get to millions of times. Now, if you're prejudiced against certain words, I'd like to be able to do a podcast also, an episode on this podcast about the prejudice of words. Whether that would be speaking about someone in the term old, what does that mean? Is the term elder more respectful? Because I have a daughter who's in her 20s, who has a young boy, and she is an elder to her son, and she's in her 20s. Is she old? I don't think so. Is someone in their 50s old? I don't think so. Is someone in their 70s or 80s old? Probably not. What is old? Thousands of years? Do people even get old before they return to the spirit world? It's something that I think that each one of us need to explore for ourselves. If we think that someone else is old, do we get old by the time we become that age? Or do we realize that we are just elders to other people and we live in a place of respect and dignity? It's all perception. So there are prejudice against other words like prayer, meditation, yoga. If I told you that I did yoga and I meditated every day, you might kind of frown upon the idea. And you'll act like you don't. What if I told you that I stretch and then I sit quiet for 20 minutes to a half an hour? After I stretch for 20 minutes to a half an hour, would you be less prejudiced to those ideas? And do you realize how prejudiced you are? You'll tell me you're not prejudiced because you're not racist. Does that mean that you don't prejudge other things because you're not racist? Being prejudiced means that we prejudge. Now, am I? Probably. I probably am prejudiced to things. Am I conscious of what I'm prejudiced of? Not necessarily at the moment. I'm not always aware of my prejudice. Are you? Are you conscious of all of your prejudice all the time? The things you're prejudging when you see someone, what they're wearing, the first statement you heard out of their mouth, even though you didn't hear the question that was asked? Are you prejudging that before you have the entire answer? Sometimes when someone comes to me and tells me a scenario in their life, I tell them there are at least 3 sides to every story. Your side, her side, or his side, and the truth. So there's your side, there's their side of the story, and then the truth is probably somewhere in between. You have your own prejudices within your side of the story. You have your own misperceptions with your side of the story. You've seen it from one angle, not all angles. They've seen it from one angle, not all angles. They have their prejudices within it, their misperceptions. So it's going to happen to all of us. Are we aware of it? And how do we change it? How do we move forward? Being able to continue to change our perceptions, our misperceptions. What is honesty in our lives? Does it mean we don't lie to the letter? So in other words, the letter of the law says we don't lie, and I didn't lie. I didn't tell you the truth. I didn't tell you the whole story. You just didn't ask me all the questions, so I didn't give you the whole story. It may not be a lie, and it may not be honest. Again, this is a perception thing. How do you want to perceive things, and how do you want to be perceived? Do you want to be perceived as someone that told the whole story? What's in your subconscious when you only tell half the story? Only that half. That's the story you keep telling. So now you only have in your subconscious the story you've been telling. You haven't been telling the whole truth. You've only been telling part of the story. So now the only thing you know is part of the story. And then you wonder why the truth is somewhere between the story you tell and the story they tell. You haven't been telling yourself the truth. You have not been putting the truth into your subconscious. So how do we change our subconscious? What type of mantra do we use? Another word that people are prejudiced against. Okay. So a mantra is something that we repeat over and over again, often silently. If you're like me, the first mantras I kind of remember would have been music. I'd hear a song on the radio when I was young. I'd get that stuck in my head, what people call sometimes an earworm. Where you get this song stuck in your head, I used to do it. I'd have this song stuck in my head and I would repeat it over and over and over again. That's a mantra. If I'm still doing that, I want to be conscious of the music that I listen to. I want to be conscious of everything I listen to, whether it's a podcast, whether it's music, whether it's television, something I'm watching with it, on my phone, on social media. Do I want to laugh at other people at their expense, or do I want to laugh with other people? Because of my subconscious, I learned to laugh at people. Sometimes that's sad because people are hurt. I don't want to be one that hurts people today. I want to be one that brings joy, one that brings hope, one that brings light, one that brings love. I want to change my subconscious so I can change my perception, so I can feel different than I've ever felt before. If I change my perception, can I change some of the emotional depression that I feel? Maybe it's worth exploring to find out. Maybe if each one of us do our very best to start to listen to different things that will bring us more true happiness and contentment long term. To watch things on television that will lift one's spirit or soul, if you will. To allow one to get to know one's higher self. To elevate to the next level. What can we do? Change our subconscious. How do we do that? Changing what's coming in. What are we telling ourselves? What is it that we're listening to? What is it our friends, our family, the people that we love and the people that love us, what is it that they're saying to us? Are our friends sarcastic in trying to make jokes and actually putting us down, and that coming into our subconscious? Is it time to change that? When our friends say things and they're trying to be funny and they say, well, you know I'm joking. Well, my subconscious doesn't know you're joking. My subconscious doesn't understand sarcasm. My subconscious doesn't have the ability to be able to see things different. It only gets unfiltered, uninterrupted, straight message. What is it my subconscious receives today is up to me to decide. What will I put in? What will I allow in? What will be part of the process in how I move forward? Sometimes it's difficult when you have friends who are sarcastic, trying to be funny, thinking it's a joke, and allow them into your life still. How do you tell them? My subconscious doesn't know you're kidding. I don't feel good about myself lately. And I think it's because my subconscious is being hurt. It's taking things in. It doesn't know you're kidding because my subconscious doesn't have that filter. And my subconscious is feeding my conscious mind. Sometimes it's hard to see the truth. Can you say that to a friend? Some of us, who even appear to be healthy at times, will struggle to say that to a good friend. So how we move forward? Maybe we separate ourselves from them for a short period of time to straighten it out ourselves so we can have that conversation with them. Maybe we realize that as we're moving forward, we find the truth. We set that in our subconscious. When someone says something sarcastic, and it comes into our subconscious, we combat it with a mantra that tells us the truth. We do not need to feed into the lies that are being told to us through our subconscious. We relax. We find a place to be able to sit and tell ourselves, fear out, love in, fear out, love in. How many times can we repeat that in a row? Or anger out, love in. Darkness out, light in. There are different mantras we can use to release things and push them out. Or if someone said something to us specifically and they were being sarcastic, being funny in a group of friends where everyone laughed, and we may have even laughed ourselves. It seemed humorous at the time. Can we find a way to be able to go quiet later that day and tell ourselves the truth and say, that's not true. I am a kind man. I am not a sarcastic man. I am a loving man. I do not treat people like that. It's not funny. I don't have to laugh next time. I don't have to get angry. I can just tell myself the truth quietly. Changing our subconscious takes a lot of work. It's not an overnight deal. Changing our perception will take a lot of work. It will not be an overnight deal. If you're willing to do it, I am willing to help. If you want to change, if you're willing to change, if you're able to change, if you can take the action to change, I would be happy to tell you all about how I've done it, how I continue to do it, and how I refuse to have other people dictate how I feel by their snide or sarcastic comments. That means I must change my sarcastic comments. I don't need to be sarcastic with other people. And as I have been trained by society and the people I'm around, I have done it. It's time for me to make these changes with you. It's time for me to continue to want to change. The 3+ decades I have done what I can to change who I am is only but a start. I want to be able to return to the spirit world with clean hands and straight eyes. Clean hands and straight eyes in a way that I never have before. There are certain things I do not participate in because it dims my wit and it dehydrates my soul. I will get to know my higher self. I will become a better person than I was yesterday. I am a better person than I was yesterday. Tomorrow, I will be a better person than I am today. Not that I am a bad man, not that I am a derogatory man, not that I am an evil man. Those are not true. I do not compare myself to you today. I do not want to be better than you. I only want to be equal to you. I want to be better than I once was. In the sense of leveling that platform, realizing that I am a spiritual being, having a human experience, continuing to ascend, willing to help others. I want to be part of a community that wants to get to know its higher self. I want to be part of a community that doesn't want to compare themselves to other people, and yet wants to continue to ascend. I want to feel like I can be a part of. I don't want to be falling apart anymore. And then when I feel like I'm a part of, I'm not falling apart. It's a process. It will take me time to continue to change my perception. It will take some time to continue to change my subconscious. And I will do everything in my power to invite you along on this journey. These lifetimes are short. If you live to be 120, it is still a short lifetime. Human beings do not become old in human form. We are forever young. And this journey that we take when we return to the spirit world and we get to that south gate will be a journey that will be the longest journey we ever take in the shortest period of time. It will happen in a split second, and it will be the greatest journey we ever take. Because by that time, our perception will be different, our heart will be different, our subconscious will be different, and we will never think the same way as we once did. Each one of us have the ability to get to know our higher self. And going forward, we will extend a hand to others to be able to walk in this journey, to walk in a good way. The greatest gift that we will offer other people in this lifetime is help. And that help is hope. If you can offer someone else hope, that they could feel different, that they could think different, that they could change their perception, and you may be the one that begins to help them change their perception, please offer them hope. No one need die today because they lost hope. No one needs to take their life because they feel like they're not enough. No one today has to do that. We reach out to others. We give hope. We bring hope. We see light. We give light. We change our subconscious to change our perception, to change how we feel. Sometimes I will tell people, how you feel right now doesn't matter. And the reason I say that is because upon wakening each morning, sometimes we struggle with how we feel. If I don't like how I feel upon wakening, and I react to how I feel right at that moment, I could ruin my day starting from the very beginning all day long. And if I just do what I need to do, I'm not encouraging other people to do what I do when it comes to prayer or meditation or yoga. Upon awakening, I ask the Creator to guide my thoughts, my words, and my actions, and I ask that I be of service to everyone I meet. When I take action towards doing that, no matter how I feel, and I can be of service to another human being in a given day, at the end of the day, I will never even remember that exact feeling I had at the beginning of the day, because I did something to get out of it by reaching out to another human being. So when I don't react to how I feel and I do something, I take action. So when I say act my way into a new way of thinking, what I'm referring to is not pretend my way into a new way of thinking. When I say act my way into a new way of thinking, I am talking about taking action to create a new way of thinking. So when I reach out to another human being to see how I can help them, how I can be of service to them in their mind, then all of a sudden I start to think different. I start to feel different. Rather than wake up in the morning and, oh, I don't feel good, I don't want to do anything, I don't want to reach out to anybody, I don't want to. As soon as I say I don't want to, I am defeating myself and feeding something in my subconscious that doesn't need to be fed. As soon as I am willing to step up and do what I need to do, I will accomplish everything that I need to accomplish going forward. Each one of us have our own journey on any given day. And each one of us will find that as we take that journey each and every day to reach out to another human being to help them smile, whether that's looking at them with a smile, calling them, letting them know we're thinking of them, calling them and seeing how they're doing. When you're not feeling well, reach out to someone else and see how they're doing rather than complain about how you're feeling. See how that will change your subconscious. We all have a journey to take, some of them longer than others. Some of them will be shorter than others. Some of them are in a given day or a given moment. Enjoy the journey. It's well worth the time. Live in harmony with and use the bounty of the land to bring kindness to the world. Looking forward to next time.